What's going on, YouTube? Alright, by now we've all heard the news. Erik Morales has tested positive for a banned substance. Not a performance-enhancing drug, but a banned substance. I believe the thing that the drug does is it works as a diuretic. It helps fighters to cut weight, and it can also be used as a masking agent to hide other possible, alleged PEDs that a fighter may or may not be using. So the fight was pretty much at the brink of not happening. It's still possible that the fight may not take place, which would really be a shame because, I for one was going to be in attendance tomorrow. Well, I'm going to go to the fight anyways, even if the fight doesn't happen. But if the main event doesn't happen, but it's a shame because once again, boxing fans are going to miss out on a pretty decent fight. And I'm not here. The point of this video is for me not to speculate. All the facts have not come in yet, but what we do know to be factual is he failed the A sample. He also failed the second sample, the B sample, and on the third one he actually came up negative. So, normally it's A, B, and you're pretty much fucked. You're pretty much done. In this instance, they pulled up 3 test results. Of the 3 test results, he came up positive for 2, and on the third one he came up negative. So there's still a possibility that the fight is going to take place. Like I said, all the facts aren't out. I don't want to speculate in this video, but I do have some thoughts, and we're gonna the way I'm looking at it is if he is, after the dust settles, if it comes to be that he is positive, are we going to hold Erik Morales? Are we going to vilify and call Erik Morales what he really is, or what he really should be called, and that's a cheater? Or are we going to make excuses as boxing fans? Are we going to make excuses for this guy because he's a Hall of Fame fighter, because he's a legend, and let him get a pass that other fighters in recent history have not gotten? And I'm speaking about Andre Berto, I'm speaking about Peterson. These are some of the guys that most recently have tested positive for PEDs or for banned substances. In Peterson's case, it was a very in Peterson's case, he was taking a synthetic testosterone, testosterone pellets, and when they checked his testosterone levels, they were normal. His levels were normal. So in other words, he was taking pellets to boost his testosterone, but his testosterone was that of a normal 27 to 28-year-old man. In Berto's case, he was found with the substance in the system. And I think they equated it to, or they compared it to, a drop of water in an oil tanker. It was like 3 millionths of a liter, or some shit like that. Some scientific fucking shit that I'm not really 100% on. But the point is that it was very, very small trace amounts of the substance in the system. So, and of course, Erik Morales has got his own excuse. The point that I'm trying to make up is that everybody that tests positive has an excuse. If we're not going to accept Peterson or Berto's excuse, then we really can't sit here and accept Erik Morales' excuse just because he's named Erik Morales, because that's really the only reason. It's either the fact that he's named Erik Morales, or you share a birthplace or a heritage with him, and you will not allow the thought that somebody of the same race as you does not have the same morals as you. And this person is willing to cheat to get ahead. Which to me is a flaw in a person's in the way somebody thinks. Me as a fight fan, if I'm absolutely cannot pick a fighter that I want to win, and one of the fighters happens to be Puerto Rican or happens to be Cuban, then I'll ride with him. But if I don't think the guy's going to win a fight, I've done it here before. If I don't think the guy's going to win a fight, I'm not going to pick him because he's of the same race. If the guy is wrong, he's fucking wrong, and that's it. So. Erik Morales' excuse is that he's eaten contaminated meat from Mexico. This substance is used for livestock in Mexico, and that's why it came up in his system. I don't know, man. Until I know more facts, I'm not going to say anything. It sounds like bullshit to me. If you ask me, it sounds like bullshit. There's plenty of fighters in Mexico that I'm sure eat fucking Mexican meat, and they don't come up positive. Pretty much all of them. I've never heard that. I've never heard that excuse before. I don't think anybody's come up positive for that drug in particular. So it just sounds funny to me, and again, if again, I got to bring up Chavez. Chavez was caught using a diuretic. People were making it seem as if it's, as if it was the worst thing to ever happen. And in other words, they're putting him up there with Luis Resto and Margarito, some of the biggest cheats in the history of the sport. Erik Morales gets caught using a diuretic, and people are saying, well, it's not the same thing because Erik Morales he's not going to, jump up 17 or 18 pounds on the day of the fight. He's just using it to cut weight. There should be no excuses, man. If the guy's cheating, especially in a sport like this, this is an arena to where people on a yearly basis lose their life to this sport. Every year, a handful of dudes, fucking die in this sport. So, and I think if somebody were to get hurt, seriously hurt or killed in the ring as a result, or in spite of the fact that somebody was using performance-enhancing drugs, I think that that's a criminal act, and I think that you should be dealt with. So we need to really, some of us boxing fans, and you know who you are, you really need to put the dick down, get off of Erik Morales' nuts for 1 second. I realize it's comfortable there. Get off his nuts for 1 second, though. Fucking open your eyes and look at the actual facts and look at some of the things that are happening. We're just assuming now that he was fucking cheating, that he was doping. We need to look at the facts and say, you know what, fuck it, he's a cheater, regardless of his race, regardless of his past. And who's to say that he wasn't using it before? I think that this now, it goes to show, man, that anybody can be using it. If you look at some of the names that were caught in the past, James Toney, Shane Mosley, Roy Jones Jr., now you add on Morales and Berto and Peterson, and the list goes on and on. I think that we're starting to realize that it's something that's rampant in boxing. A guy like Manny Pacquiao who refuses to take a drug test to begin with should be looked at as, he's suspect. And I think that refusal to take a drug test should be the same, should go hand in hand with a positive fucking result. I think that if you don't want to take the drug test, that doesn't work. In any other instance, it doesn't work. If you refuse to take a drug test for your probation officer, he's gonna lock you the fuck up. If your piss came back diluted with your probation officer, it's the same as it's the same as a positive result. If you got pulled over for DUI and you refuse to take the breathalyzer exam, you're getting locked the fuck up, or at the very least you're gonna get the DUI. So, I think that refusal to take a test, the same as coming up positive, and coming up positive regardless of the fact, regardless of what the fuck it is. I think that a positive is a positive, and you're a cheater, and you should be looked at. It should be no different all the way across the board. A cheater is a cheater is a cheater, regardless of the name. You just got to look at it like fighter A versus fighter B. Another thing that I want to talk about is these that I'm seeing pop up more and more often. It's nothing new, but it's just something that bothers me. It's something that I just felt like talking about for a little bit. I wanted to do a Nonito Donaire video, an after-fight video for the fight that just happened, but a couple days passed by. Everybody had already did their video, so I said, fuck it, I'm just going to let it lay there. And a lot of people pretty much brought up a lot of the same points that I thought to bring up. I don't like the fact, if you don't think that Rigondeaux is on Donaire's level, if you don't think that he's ready, whatever, you're entitled to those opinions. But fans, boxing fans, hardcore boxing fans, or whatever you want to call yourself, man. I'm seeing a lot of the guys, these dudes, the way they write in forums, and the way they talk in the comment sections of a lot of videos. I think that these dudes either A, really think that they're fucking boxing promoters, or B, will just go to any lengths to defend the fighter of their liking. And I think that is something that they're part of the destruction, or going to be part of the destruction of the sport that we supposedly love. I don't see how you could defend Donaire's actions, man. I don't see how you could stand behind him and say that what he's doing right now is not ducking. Of course now he's saying that he wants to fight Abner Mares, because we know that fight is a fight that probably won't take place because Golden Boy and Top Rank don't play well. Between Mares and Guillermo Rigondeaux, those are the two people we want to see him fight, and he's got an excuse lined up for not fighting both of them. And he's probably going to go ahead, mark my words, he's going to go ahead and fight El Travieso. He's going to fight Arce. you know, I don't understand it. You know, people, they come up with pretty much with more excuses than Nonito has lined up for himself. And if it's not, Rigondeaux's not experienced enough, if it's not the fact that he's not a draw, which by the way, Nonito Donaire and Nishioka did some of the lowest ratings the other night that HBO has experienced in quite some time. Just to give you an idea, they did 8.3 million views, and Adrian Bronner against Escobedo did 1.4. You know, so they almost got doubled. And Nonito Donaire Nonito Donaire is a pound for pound fighter. So if you're saying that Rigondeaux is not a fucking draw, then I don't know what he is. You know, Nonito Donaire is yet to even fucking be on a pay-per-view card in the entirety of his career. And he's Filipino, and he shares the same, pretty much, I mean, should be sharing the same fan base as Manny Pacquiao. So it goes to show you the kind of draw that he is. But you know, these guys, they get out there, they say Rigondeaux, he's just an amateur, he's not experienced enough. You know, you're supposed to, as boxing fans, want to see your guy, or want to see any fighter fight the best possible opposition out there, regardless of all the excuses that he pretty much gives you and he force feeds down your throat. You're supposed to want to see the best fight the best. And you know, I don't see how you could defend that, man. If he goes up to 126, it's going to be one of the biggest disappointments in recent memory in boxing. You know, this fight is the prospect of this fight is starting to annoy the shit out of me to almost Mayweather Pacquiao levels. It's not there yet, but it really is starting to annoy the shit out of me, because you know, especially for Cuban fighters, there's just an excuse to not fight any of these fucking guys. Everybody's got an excuse. Nobody wants to step up and fight any of these fucking guys, and the fans can sit around and say, well, oh, he hasn't fought nobody. You know, he doesn't bring in any money. Well, no shit. You know, nobody wants to fight him. Nobody's looking to fight these fucking guys. Nobody's standing in line looking to fight a Guillermo Rigondeaux or a fucking Erislandy Lara. It's just not happening. Gamboa had to pull teeth to get a fight against Juanma, and we all know from there it never happened. Juanma got knocked out. He got exposed, and you know, it is what it is. So, you know, I don't know, man. I'm just tired of these fake fucking boxing promoter fans. You know, that are going around spreading this bullshit. If you're a fan of the sport, man, be a fan of the sport. Try to be fucking subjective. Try to look at two fighters just as plain and simple as fighter A, fighter B. No nationality, no race. And if a dude is ducking, man, call it for what it is. He's a fucking duck. He's a duck. The reason why Max Kellerman's asking him constantly if he wants to fight Rigondeaux is because that's a fight that everybody wants to see. He's the only guy that doesn't want to see the fight happen. You know? And prior to Rigondeaux's fight with Marroquin, I had Rigondeaux, you know, pretty much schooling Donaire. Right now I have it looking like a coin flip right now. I have it looking like a 50-50 fight. I don't think Donaire thinks it's a 50-50 fight. I think he's afraid. Well, I shouldn't say afraid. I don't think any boxer's afraid, but I think that he knows that ain't gonna be easy, and he can probably make similar money to fighting an RC, for example. So, you know, but that's not the name of the game. The name of the game is stepping up and taking on the biggest challenges and giving fans, you know, the fights that they want to see. And if you're a fan of Donaire's, then you should want to see that fight. You should be pressuring him to fight, not standing behind him and coming up with all these fucking whack excuses. You know, so I don't know, man. Let's see if this fight happens. If it takes place tomorrow, I'm gonna be live. I'm gonna try to put some upload some footage live at the fight, and that's pretty much it, man. Let me know what you guys think.